everybody? JayC here, and welcome to Thursday night's live stream. Let us see who is in the house tonight. Lord Vengar is in the house. Toy Bandit is first. Good to see him there. Noah's in the house. Already said Lord Vengar. Welcome. Cobra Classified, what's up, man? Toymaster 54 is in the house. Michael, of course. I don't know if we ever have any dudettes in the house. Of course, if there are, they're welcome, but don't ever see a lot of female names come across the live stream. I guess maybe once or twice we have. So it's been a pretty productive week for reveals and news, I would say, especially like on the McFarlane front. Just today, we got two new reveals and a better look at that Hush figure that we saw the preview image for earlier in the week. So we got the Jonathan Kent Future State Superman figure was revealed thanks to Walmart today. I don't know if you guys have seen those images yet. I just posted them this afternoon, and then also again thanks to Walmart we got the full-on images for Hush, and then McFarlane themselves teased a preview image of Grifter, which I think is definitely a cool figure. I definitely plan on getting that one. Adam, is it too early to talk the Batman? I think we will talk the Batman, but I think we'll wait till a little bit later in the live stream, just in case there are some people who have not seen it yet. You know, they can tune out as we start to talk spoilers. So yeah, we'll definitely talk a little bit of Batman here tonight. I got a chance to see it on Saturday, and overall I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't, some of you guys were saying it's the best Batman movie ever last week, and I wouldn't quite go that far, but I definitely felt like it was a pretty good movie. And hats off to Pattinson. When it was first announced he was going to be Batman, I was not hopeful, but I think he actually did a pretty good job. The whole goth look whenever he took his mask off, I don't know, I didn't like that too much, but I mean, I understand part of it was because he was wearing the makeup under his eyes, like they often do when they're wearing masks. But still, overall, I give the movie a thumbs up. Jerry is in the house. Next week, haven't watched it, so Jerry will need to exit a little early tonight, I think, is when we get into the spoilers, because he hasn't seen it yet. Silver Surfer, what's up? CM Brock is in the house. Moon's Dream, welcome. So I don't have, a lot of specifics other than, like I said, we can talk about some of the new McFarlane toys, DC Multiverse reveals. Hasbro today announced their Wave 6 for the 3.75-inch Marvel Legend Retro figures. I don't know how many of you guys here really are into that line. Jerry says he saw the Superman on TNI with the side eye. Well, Todd did say that there were still going to be some figures that were in the production pipeline that would continue to have the side eye, so we would still see those for a little while. Nestor, yep. They delayed the Flash, Aquaman, and what was the third one? I forget, but yeah, they delayed some of those movies, and I don't know how that'll affect the toys. I guess we'll have to see. We saw listings this week for some stuff for Flash. I don't know who it was here in the live stream a couple weeks ago who had mentioned about the Michael Keaton Batmobile, but it does look like that is coming. Technically based on the Flash movie, not the original movies, but I'm assuming it's going to look pretty much the same. But I'm definitely curious to see what that is, and a Hush Batmobile as well. So That should be interesting. Oh, Shazam, yeah, that was the other one. I really can't say that Aquaman 2, that's probably out of the DC movies coming up, Aquaman 2, I really did not like the last Aquaman movie. I, people seem to have liked it, but I didn't really like it, and I thought the special effects kind of sucked. So that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the least. But definitely the Flash, and I think Black Adam looks pretty good. Quinn's in the house. What's up, man? So also tonight, this just arrived today. So I got a box from Big Bad Toy Store. So a pile of loot arrived. So I thought I would open this up. So I can go and do that now. I also got this one from Amazon. So the Horde Trooper came up and was available. So I grabbed that one. Only one from this wave so far I've gotten. I do plan on getting well, I don't know if I'm gonna get Sunman because I've got the Mattel Creations one. I don't know if I really need two Sunman figures, so I haven't decided on that one. I'll definitely get Clawful, maybe Anti-Eternia He-Man. So I don't know. I asked this question on Facebook today, but I can bring it up here too. But with rising action figure costs, and we've talked about this a little bit already, but now we've got not only rising action figure costs, but rising gas prices. And just curious how that's affecting your guys' buying habits for action figures. I assume if you've got to drop something, if it's food, bills, or action figures, action figures should be the thing that you drop first. Um, but just curious, especially for you guys who seem to like to go and hunt around at stores, with the gas prices what they are, and we feel one of our main car requires premium gas, so we filled up the tank last weekend because we had a feeling I mean, it was already high, but we had a feeling it was going to go up even more, which it has. And it was $70 to fill up the tank. Now, thankfully, because both me and my wife work out of the house, we don't these days drive a whole lot. We go up to the grocery, which is right up at the corner. Occasionally go a few other places here and there, but usually we can get away with only having to fill the tank up once a month. So, fortunately for that, but when we do fill it up, it's definitely getting expensive. But so I got today from Big Bad Toy Store my Alley Viper, my second Alley Viper. I'd gotten the first one off of Hasbro Pulse, so I got my second one, and then also this one I was looking forward to, the Revelations Trapjaw figure. So these are my newest arrivals. And then, like I said, I got the Horde Trooper from off of Amazon. So saw Goliath. Jerry says he saw Goliath and 2-pack with the foot soldiers for 59. Wow, they've gone up, huh? I haven't. I went to Target. I guess it was last weekend. Yeah, I think it was last weekend, and they didn't have those. They had some of the other more recent sets. And people are starting to find some of that holothon stuff that I guess stores are putting out early, even though technically a holothon doesn't start until the 18th. I've seen a couple of reports of people finding that glow in the dark Muckman, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle animated series 4-pack, the Back to the Future 2 Griff Tannen figure, the female gargoyle figure, I think is showing up at Target. Yes, Michael, I did. I did watch. I watched it on Sunday. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. There was a couple parts that I thought was a little bit over the top on the corny side. You know, I get the show is for kids, but there was a couple of things that I thought was stretching the corniness just a little bit. I mean, again, understanding it's for kids, it didn't bother me that much, but I definitely could have done without it. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. They obviously left it open for a third season, which hopefully it will get the green light for. So I definitely thought it was a pretty good show, a pretty good season. I think I liked season one a little bit better, but still, overall, I thought it was pretty solid. Moose Dream says the end of toy runs, or at least reduce. Yeah, I don't do a lot of like. I don't go out to the store. In fact, I never, almost never anymore, go out to the store just to look for toys unless I know there's something that I want that's going to be in stock. I don't, if I happen to be going up to Target or that area, the pet store where I get my dog food is in the shopping center with Target and Walmart. So if I go up there for that or something else that I need, you know, I'll obviously go into Target and Walmart and see what they have, which is normally nothing, but I don't go out of my way to just go to a Target or Walmart to try and buy action figures, or anywhere else for that matter anymore. Most of the stuff I do online. Now, of course, with the gas prices, that's going to have an effect on other things. Even when you're ordering online, you still have to have it delivered. So, probably, the delivery services are going to raise their prices to offset the higher gas. So, I mean, even if you're buying solely online, if gas prices stay up high, it's going to have an effect on all of us. But Neil says he's been enjoying the He-Man Netflix. Well, I assume you talk about the CGI one because, of course, both the Revelation and CGI are on Netflix. And we can talk a little bit about that more towards the end. Again, we'll wait till the end in case there are people who haven't seen it and don't want to have it spoiled. Silver Surfer never goes to Target. Loves Big Bad Toy Store. Yeah, I mean, customer service at Big Bad Toy Store I've always found to be top notch. Sometimes they can be a little slow, which is not really their fault. They get them out to you as soon as they get them in stock. But I've just gotten to the point where I'll wait for it to come, and then when it comes in stock, I'll get it. But I just, even before the prices were raising, it was just like, I just don't have the time to spend running all over the place. And this area is just terrible for toy hunting anyway. I always call it the Bermuda Triangle of toys. There's like a force field around the area that keeps new toys from coming in. What's up, Blake? How's it going? Yeah, I meant to ask you, Blake. You mentioned a couple weeks ago you were moving. I think you said you were moving to Miami, but I wasn't clear whether you were actually had already moved to Miami. You're in the process of moving, but how's the move going? I think it was, and I think it was Miami. You said you were moving to. Neil says Big Bag Toy Store is super slow, but yeah, they're top notch. I mean, again, I don't think they're any slower than most other toy e-tailers, but what they lose in speed, they make up for in customer service, which honestly I think is better than speed in the long run. Like, and the things about pre-order, I don't like pre-ordering. I'll usually wait until something's in stock, even though these days I've been doing more pre-orders than usual, just because you never know when something's going to come in stock. But like, I had pre-ordered a while back the McFarlane Toys Cygor figure and the She Spawn figure because Walmart had made it seem like they had it in stock, And so I went on and pre-order or ordered it off their website, and then of course it never shipped. And then I forgot about it, and then I got it from someplace else, the Cygor figure, and of course Walmart shipped it out, and so now I've got two Cygors. So I'm going to take the one back to just going to take it back to the physical Walmart store and return it. But I hate when you like forget that you pre-ordered something, or you pre-order it twice by accident, and then you've got stuck with doubles. Neil says Dorkside all the way. I've never ordered from Dorkside. They sometimes do seem to get things a little bit faster, um, but I've never used them myself, so I can't really speak to their service. So let's pop over and let's take a look at so we can thank Walmart for these images because these two figures have not yet gone up officially for pre-order, but Walmart decided to list them on their website with images. So we've seen the preview image for Hush. I think it looks pretty good. Of course, he's got knives as opposed to guns. I would have maybe preferred his trench coat to be open, but still overall. And of course, there's supposed to be a 2-pack coming with a Hush figure, so I don't know if it'll be the exact same figure or if there'll be some differences. But that one's looking pretty good. And then we've got this, I'm not really familiar with this Future State Jonathan Kent figure, but we had seen listings for it a couple months ago. This one I probably will pass on. Can't say it really does a whole lot for me. But I'm definitely going to get the Hush figure. And then this one I'm definitely going to get as well. So we only have the preview image right now for this one. But Grifter. And of course, once again, no gun, but he's got the sword. Quinn says Jonathan Kent looks cross-eyed. Well, I assume this version does not advocate. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with the particular storyline he's based on, but I'm going to assume this version. I thought it was Superboy. In fact, I'm not sure. Is that like some version of Superboy? Yeah, but he's been appearing in DC Comics Grifter. So yeah, he originally appeared in Wildcats, but he's a part of the DC universe now. GameStop's out of the Boba Fett. Yeah, I've fallen behind. I still need I haven't gotten a single book of Boba Fett figure yet, so I'm falling a little behind on those. Yeah, that I mean, I got to that policy to me is just so dumb. I mean, I'm all for increased gun control laws, background checks, better background checks, things like that. But especially when you're gonna have the guns in your movies. The same kids who are buying these action figures are the same kids that are gonna go to the theater and see the Batman, and you got guns in there, but you can't have them. You've got guns in your video games, you got guns in your movies, but you can't have guns with, little plastic guns with your action figures. It to me, it just comes off as window dressing to say, oh, look, we're trying to address the issue when, it really doesn't do anything. Kyle wants to know if the Dark Knight Returns regular Batman is a good figure. I couldn't tell you, Kyle, because I don't have that figure. I mean, from what I've seen of images and people who've gotten it and done reviews, it seems like a decent figure overall, but Blake's talking about, living in Florida where there's a Walgreens on every corner. Of course, did you get your binary figures? It finally went up on the Walgreens website. I expect Baron Zemo will probably go up, by next month, I'm thinking. From what I've seen, apparently the Hasbro Marvel Legend guys, basically got on Walgreens to start better offering those since they were falling so far behind. So I guess we can thank them for, getting some of these Walgreens exclusives at least somewhat available on their website. Yeah, I mean, I go for that. I wish, if they started doing like regular CW figures. Like I'm probably not going to get the Flash because it's like, what was it, 2 years ago we got one CW figure with the Arrow, which I didn't even think was very good. I think the Flash figure looks decent, but you know I've already got the DC Direct one, so I'm like, unless they start doing more CW characters on a regular basis, I just don't see the point. Yep, that is true. And like I did that with the Peacemaker figure. I ordered, his gun and holster from a third party who was making them. But I mean, it was $25 for a holster and a gun. It's more than the figure itself. It was worth it with Peacemaker since that's kind of his main thing. But and I'm gonna get a when it comes out, I'm gonna get a second GI Joe classified Spirit figure and take the freedom and give it to Peacemaker so it can be his Eagly. I don't think that was Mattel. I don't. McFarlane didn't do Black Lightning. Mattel did one right before they ended the line, but McFarlane hasn't done Black Lightning. I don't think. So the Black Lightning figure is 6 inch, and the McFarlane figures are 7 inch. So they're not really going to go together. If McFarlane does like a variant of the Flash with the gold boots, his essentially his season 8 costume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the only difference between his costume from season 7 and season 8 is he got the gold boots. So if they do a gold boots version, then I might get that one. Blake, I have not yet seen that. I did not get a chance to watch that one. I saw the He-Man series and I went and saw Batman, but I did not get a chance yet to see Guardians of Justice. I was watching the previews on Netflix for it though, like where the lady was running on the treadmill and she was talking to some guy who I guess was lonely or something. I don't know, it seemed kind of weird. I definitely will check it out though. Yeah, I mean, I've got as far as guns go, I mean, I have a ton of just regular guns lying around, from various figures over the years. So if it's just a normal gun, it's not really a big deal. It's when you get kind of into like a specialized gun, like again with like Peacemaker, who has kind of a unique, pistol with a holster, or like others. The Bloodsport figure, also from Suicide Squad. He had very unique looking weapons. So it's if it's just like a 45 pistol, then I can dig that out of my one of my accessory drawers, and it's not really a big deal. But it's when you start getting into some of the unique weapons that some of these characters have that it becomes a pain. Who knows? I mean, or when new executives come in, it's possible they could change that. Who really knows? Well, fortunately, Terminator is not part of Warner Brothers, so Super Pet. I could see. I imagine somebody will make some type of figures from Super Pets. I doubt it's going to be McFarlane. I'm sure it'll be more of a kids line. So maybe like Spin Master, I could see doing figures for that. Um, but I kind of don't see McFarlane doing DC Super Pet figures. Oh, you're moving next month? All right. I don't. I've never been to Miami. I've kind of driven on the outskirts of Miami, but I've never been into the city of Miami. I've been to Orlando. I've been to Tampa. Been a few other places in Florida, but I've never been to Miami. I'm. I mean, the ones that DC Collectibles did, will get released, but I'm not sure we're going to see any more after that. In fact, I would tend to doubt it. Why not, Michael? It looked pretty funny. I saw the trailer for it at the Batman. I mean, I definitely wouldn't. I'm not going to go to the theater and watch it, but when it comes on HBO Max, I'll definitely watch it. Maybe by then, maybe Jigsaw will be out by then. I've been to the Marlins training facilities, but I haven't actually been to their actual. I did catch some of that. I saw where he asked him if Ahsoka did an interview with Todd McFarlane. You should check it out if you haven't on his YouTube channel. But he asked him about the whole gun thing. So McFarlane basically admitted that the reason why there are no guns with the figures is because of Warner Brothers, and he's brought it up, but he basically wrote it off as one of those battles he's not going to win, so he's not really going to even try. Yeah, apparently we're going to get one of Harley Quinn's hyenas if the rumored list is accurate. And yeah, George is his name. The 112 collective Batman figure. Yeah, it probably won't be a while. It'll probably be a while before it actually gets released. We better get the Michael Keaton Batman before we get the Robert Pattinson Batman. I mean, Keanu Reeves is voicing Batman, so So, Marvel Legends, I just want to let you guys know that next month you probably are going to want to get your wallets rested up because it is looking like it's going to be a big pre-order month for Marvel Legends. So it's possible these could change because, especially these days, the calendar seems to change a lot as Hasbro shifts things around. I guess as things come in stock or don't come in stock or what have you, or as movies get delayed or what have you. So there's a lot of shuffling with these calendars. So it's possible this could change, but right now it is looking like we could end up seeing something in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 Marvel Legend items go up for pre-order next month in April. So I don't have specifics on what stuff it'll be, but it sounds like like I said, and I don't know if Hasbro's going to do like some type of collector event next month. It's possible, but like I said, April is shaping up to be a big pre-order month for Marvel Legends. Now, whether any of the things that go up for pre-order will actually be released this year or they'll get 2023 release dates, I don't know. I thought he was. Maybe not. I gotta go back and look at the Black Adam movie figures that are rumored to be coming. Yeah, Hawkman's getting a figure. At least rumored. I can't say 100%, but they're based on the rumored listings. Hawkman is one of the figures in the assortment. What's up, Omega? That would be cool, but I don't think the entire team has been ported over to DC Comics, so I don't think you would see the entire Wildcats team. Just any of the ones I imagine only the ones that have been in actual DC Comics titles would be open for like McFarlane to do. I will get those figures, but I don't have them on pre-order because I know once they come out, they won't be hard to get. Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't, he doesn't do a lot of TV stuff, so I don't know if we'll get Titan figures. I don't know if we'll get, Doom Patrol, Peacemaker. I really doubt we're gonna get Peacemaker figures other than Peacemaker himself. Maybe you know, maybe Vigilante, but I don't see getting a lot of like Peacemaker figures. Toy Bandit, yep, coming to a console near you. All those old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. Yeah, I could see them maybe doing Vigilante, either a comic book version or maybe the from the show. I don't know, but I doubt they're going to do the other characters because they're too normal looking. Plus, it's a very violent show, and therefore it's going to be less appealing to kids. And I mean, they could do Vigilante, but he won't come with any guns, so he'll come with a sword, and that's going to be it. Omega, who's my favorite Ninja Turtle? As in the actual turtles themselves? I guess I would go with Leonardo is probably my favorite. Michelangelo, uh, though sometimes he can get on my nerves, but you know he's funny sometimes, so I like him as well. But I would say Leonardo would be my favorite. I won't say it's impossible, but I would doubt it. Somebody like NECA would be more likely to do something like that, I would think. Well, Deadpool's actually based on Deathstroke the Terminator. Literally, that's what you know, what Liefeld based Deadpool on. Vigilante is, you know, kind of in that same genre, but I mean, it's been a long time since I read any comics with Vigilante in it, but from what I remember, you know, Vigilante in the comics was very different than how he appeared in the Peacemaker series. I with the changing of all the movie dates, I don't know how that will affect the toys. So I think it definitely could delay them, but I don't know. You know, I can't say that for sure. McFarlane has been keeping, you know, the movie toys have been staying on par pretty much with the movies. You know, unlike Hasbro stuff that, you know, gets has been getting released much sooner than the movies come out. You know, the Batman figures came out right, you know, almost at the same time that the movie came out. So I don't know if they'll be able to hold, you know, something like the Flash. My guess is they will. Probably the earliest would be the summertime, you know, July, San Diego Comic Con time. No, I mean, is the character is just named Vigilante. You know, wearing the black tape suit with the mask. Well, they'd have to get the license to do that, and I don't see that ever happening. So, well, because he doesn't think female characters sell very well, so I think that's why he goes light on them. And I mean, you know, he bases that on sales data, so I think there's truth to that. It's not like a sexism thing. I just think the female figures don't sell as well in general. Well, being they're gonna, you know, being we're seeing them in the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, which means they're gonna be in the series. I would guarantee that that will happen. I mean, I'm not saying I've seen anything that far in advance, but yeah, I would seriously be surprised if they don't do both vintage collection and Black Series figures for those guys. I don't know how the ownership is. I'd have to go look that up, but I think for McFarlane to do them in the DC Multiverse line, they would have to actually appear in actual DC comic titles, like Grifter's been in Batman comics and such. That's why he's doing them. So, I mean, I won't say 100% it's impossible he couldn't do others, but I think it would have to be characters, and I don't know honestly. I'm not sure which ones. If Grifter's the only one that has shown up in any DC comic titles or not. So I, you know, I can't even tell you definitively which characters have and haven't been in DC Comics, but my feeling is that for McFarlane to do them in DC Multiverse, they would actually have to be ones that actually appeared in, like, you know, a Batman comic or something. Yeah, probably true. I've missed that part. I have to go back. I only because it was like over an hour long, so I only managed to listen to some of it. But I would love, if he brought back like DC. Well, I mean, I assume, I don't know. What are we talking about? Just DC Multiverse figures released under the DC. That would be kind of weird. If he brought DC icons back, that I would definitely love. I mean, I wouldn't mind, classic characters, even if they're DC Multiverse, but I don't know why he would have to release those under DC collectibles. Henry, thank you, man. Always appreciated. I know you're picking up and choosing when it comes to the McFarlane DC Multiverse line, but what is your opinion overall of the line? My personal opinion is, the figures themselves, I mean, they're not perfect, but they're not, I think they're definitely fairly solid. I do think we get way too many Batman themed figures that personally don't interest me, which is why I don't buy them. Those DC metal figures and all that kind of stuff. It's just, and in large part because I don't read a lot of modern comics these days. And so, I have no tie to them. If I was an active, avid comic book reader still, those might have be more appealing to me, but because I'm not, they aren't. You know, I would love to see him do Nightfall, figures from the Nightfall storyline. The Hush figures definitely are interesting me. And of course, I would love to see more non Batman figures in general. But as for the figures themselves, um, the variants kind of are annoying. The fact that you have to buy like two different figures to get alternate heads, things like that, I find that kind of annoying. But but I don't have a huge problem with the figures themselves. I just, a lot of the character selections just aren't ones that personally do much for me. I think it's on YouTube. Maybe he put it on both, but the video, his interview is on his YouTube channel, so you can check it out there. Just do a search for Ahsoka. Well, I think they're I mean, the thing, like I said, I say for me personally, they don't appeal to me, but that doesn't mean they don't appeal to other people. And yeah, I think people do buy them. I think if people weren't really buying them, he wouldn't keep doing them. Todd is very much somebody who is motivated by numbers, like sales numbers. You and and I know this because he's told me this when I've talked to him in interviews and just one on one. He looks at he looks at the sales numbers and that's what he bases his decisions on. So, the reason why he doesn't do a lot of female figures is because it's not that he has anything against female figures, it's just the numbers generally are not there. People don't buy those figures as much. People buy Batman. We all complain about how many Batman there are, but there are still plenty of people out there who buy them. And he's not just selling these to adult collectors. He is selling these as much to kids probably as adult collectors. Um, you know, the reason why DC Multiverse figures aren't sold off, in that section where like the NECA stuff is because he wants those figures to be right there in the toy aisle where the kids and parents are. So, um, but you know, he doesn't go to like message boards and just listen to. I'm not saying he doesn't go to message boards sometimes, but I'm saying he doesn't base his decisions on comments that he reads in message boards. He primarily bases his decisions on the sales data. So if you don't like something, don't buy it. And if enough people agree with you and they don't buy it, then he likely would quit making them. But the problem is that I think there are still plenty of people who are buying those things, including kids and parents, because that's what they recognize. They recognize Batman. And I like Batman, but again, I don't read a lot of the modern comics, so for me personally, when he starts doing those figures specifically based on those specific storylines, most of them don't appeal to me because I haven't read the stories. Yep, Quinn's Comics using some retail language, but yes, evergreen item. Jerry says he wines. I buy occasional. I bought the regular Batman. I bought the Jim, or not Jim Lee, but the McFarlane style Batman. I certainly have more than one Batman figure, but I definitely am not that much of a Batman fan where I'm going to buy every single Batman figure that comes out. But I mean, McFarlane's not the only one that does that. I mean, look at Mezco. Mezco doesn't even sell their products at physical stores like Walmart and Target. Look how many Batman figures they put out in the 112 Collective line, or Hot Toys, or I mean, it's just Batman sells, and he's one of the most popular comic book characters out there. See, my best Jim Carrey Riddler impersonation. Batman, you say? Batman's probably, I would say Batman and Spider-Man are probably the two biggest selling characters out there. Um, on the Marvel side, maybe X-Men are close second. And that's because, again, those are characters, you know, throughout the years, there's always been some representation of them on, whether it's TV, movies, cartoons, not just the comics, but those characters have always had representation on, larger entertainment platforms. So, they're much more known, and people just kind of, flock to them. All right, 750. So I think we'll talk a little bit of the Batman movie itself, which means we're going to start talking some spoilers. If you if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to have anything spoiled, then you probably want to go on and tune out. We can talk a little bit about Masters of the Universe too, but this is kind of the at the end here. This is our spoiler portion. So fair warning, like I said, if you haven't seen like the Batman movie or He-Man: The Masters of the Universe, probably go on and tune out now. All right, so the Batman. So definitely, I liked it a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Lowest, my view of it is, this was the most low tech Batman that we've ever seen on the big screen. As far as like gadgets and stuff. Um, this was more about Batman being a detective, which often doesn't get kind of gets lost in the movies and stuff. So I like that aspect of it. Um, it was a more, not quite on the level as like the Joker movie, but this was, in my view, kind of more of a, if this was real life, this is how it would kind of play out. You know, I didn't mind the muscle car, that it wasn't like this huge fancy Batmobile like we generally see. It was pretty low tech. It was bulletproof. It had a souped up motor, but otherwise it was pretty much just a regular car. And most of the time he drove around on a motorcycle. So, um, and it was, like McFarlane did a Bat cycle and then did a Bruce Wayne cycle, but in the movie I think it was one the same. I don't think he had two different motorbikes in the motorcycles in the movie. I think it was the same thing. So definitely more low tech, but again, I thought that made it kind of interesting. Um, and of course, this was only Batman in his second year of his career, so you would kind of expect him not to be quite as low tech. His Bruce Wayne, I mean, he wasn't really Bruce Wayne very much, but I actually liked the fact that his life revolved around Batman. Bruce Wayne was kind of just this. Even when he was Bruce Wayne in the movie, he was going to things for Batman, not really for Bruce Wayne. So I actually like that kind of as well. Now again, his look was very goth like. Most of the time he had the makeup under his eyes because of the mask, but I you know I definitely would, if we get another movie, I wouldn't mind seeing more of the Bruce Wayne side of him. But I felt like that was actually pretty good. Now the thing I hated the most is I didn't like the highway scene, the car chase, and the chase itself was fine, but essentially, Batman helped create this huge pile up where these cars were exploding, people were dying, and Batman was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. He played a part in causing that huge accident on the highway, and then just kind of wrote it off as nothing. So I didn't really like that. I know they wanted to do the car jumping through the flames and all that, but I didn't really like that aspect because, I thought that was a little bit much. I do think it probably could have been edited down a little bit so it wasn't quite as long. I don't think it needed to be quite as long as 3 hours. I think they could have still, maybe 2.5 hours, but still overall, I thought it was pretty solid. I liked the Riddler a lot better than I thought I was going to. Even Penguin. I mean, to me, the bad guys had very much if you've ever watched the Fox Gotham series, it had that feel to it. Only this had actual Batman in it, whereas in the Gotham series, the focus was always Jim Gordon. I like Jim Gordon. I thought he was pretty good. It was kind of weird seeing Gordon and Batman work so close together. Bringing him into the crime scenes while all the cops are sitting there and stuff. So I thought that was kind of weird. Not bad weird, but just kind of weird to see it because it's not usually how it's portrayed in the movies and stuff. But I don't know. It looked like, I mean, I assume you're talking about when he and Catwoman kind of ride off in their separate directions, but I thought that was the same cycle. So I don't know. It could have been. I mean, I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but to me, there was nothing about the bike that looked like anything that was different from the regular one he was riding. Oh, and that was something I definitely liked. This is, I think, is maybe the first Batman movie where Batman didn't tell his secret identity to somebody. I think every movie somebody finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and it came close. We all thought that Riddler had discovered who he was, but he didn't. So I like the fact that Batman managed to keep his secret identity a secret. He didn't tell Selina who he was. No, none of the bad guys found out who he was. So I definitely was glad. That is actually something very unique to this movie. Blake, I don't know the entire wave. Other than Hawkeye and the Kate Bishop, there should be a Moon Knight figure. I don't know which version, and there is going to be a Miss Marvel figure. And again, I don't know exactly what version, but I don't know what the other three figures are going to be. Um, and part of it, I'm sure we're going to get a She-Hulk figure at some point, but I don't know. This wave is now currently listed with not a release until next year, but originally this wave, and it may still end up coming out this summer. I don't know, but originally this wave was supposed to be out this summer. So I'm sure the wave was planned as for figures that coming out in the summer. The She-Hulk series I don't think is going to premiere until like around Christmas time, so I feel like She-Hulk probably isn't going to be in this wave. But there's three figures I don't know what they'll be, whether they'll be based on new shows, whether they'll be based on some of the shows that have already aired. I don't know. There should be a Hawkeye 2-pack, but I don't know what those figures will be either. Could just be second versions of Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, or it could be different characters. I don't know, but I don't have that entire wave. I have not seen listings. I've seen code names, but I don't know. I haven't deciphered all the figures in that wave at this time. There's 7 figures total in that wave, though. They started to, and then he woke up and he jumped up. But yeah, you would have thought. I was expecting like him to like one of them to try and take his mask off and get like shocked or something, like a Cobra Command thing. But yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It was like, okay, somebody's gonna try and take the cowl off, and they're gonna get shocked. I like the Batmobile itself. I just didn't like that chase scene where he caused that huge accident and all those people got killed. But I like the car itself. And I thought it was weird, like he never lives in Wayne Manor anymore. In the Justice League, in the Ben Affleck movies, he didn't live in Wayne Manor anymore. In these movies, he was living in Wayne Enterprises in Gotham City. Um, so I don't know what it is about not living in Wayne Manor anymore, but I did feel like there were a lot of times where he got shot like point blank. I mean, I know the suit is bulletproof to a certain extent, but I feel like he was just like shrug, like yeah, shoot me, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yep, pop. So I felt like maybe the suit was a little bit over bulletproof, but that's why I always liked, like the Michael Keaton bat suit where you had the yellow symbol. I always liked that because there was an actual point to that. That yellow is supposed to draw gunfire to the chest area, which is supposed to be, your most is the most protected area on the suit. So, he's not wearing that bright color because he wants the bad guys to see him. He's wearing that white, that yellow symbol to draw the gunfire to his, because if he gets shot in the face, he might get a little protection, but that mask isn't going to protect him nearly as much as like the protection that he has on his chest area. And that's why the Punisher has the white skull on his chest. It's to draw the fire to the chest area because that's the most protected area that they have. So I always liked that with like the Michael Keaton suit that they had the yellow symbol, but now most times it's just the black symbol. Now I did think it was kind of interesting that his batarang was actually the bat symbol on his chest. I don't know if I like that as a practicality because I don't know how easy it would be to grab, if you need to use it quickly, how easy it would be to grab it off your chest. But I thought that was kind of interesting that the bat symbol on his chest was actually his batarang. Yeah, I mean, I saw, they made Wayne Manor the orphanage. It's weird how, like, in the recent Batman movies, they don't have him living in Wayne Manor anymore. They always have him living, somewhere else. Now, one thing I was confused about when he injected himself with what I assumed at first was just adrenaline, but it was very green, like venom, like the venom that Bane uses. I didn't know if that was supposed to be an Easter egg. Was he using? And he kind of went crazy after he injected himself with that stuff. So I don't know if that was like an Easter egg. It was supposed to be like Batman's, pumping himself up with venom, or if that was just adrenaline that he was using and what. But I thought it was weird how brightly green colored that liquid that he injected himself with was. And like I said, I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be an Easter egg for something in the future or what. Well, it was a batarang, which is sharp like a knife. He used it as a knife to cut the tape on the door, but I'm pretty sure that was his batarang that he was using. Now I missed that, Gwen. And also, I was curious: was the guy that they had playing the Joker at the end, was that like a known actor, or was that just kind of a fill-in? And then if they do another movie that has the Joker, they'll get another actor. I couldn't tell if that was somebody we should recognize or if that was just some random person they got to play the Joker, since we never really got to see his face or anything. Lazarus Pit liquid, you think? Huh, that would be interesting. I guess that would be plausible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they didn't give us really enough. It was just weird how I don't think adrenaline is green like that. So I just that caught my eye. Even my wife was like, "Was that Venom? Was that what the Bane guy uses?" I was like, "I don't know." All right, well, let's switch real quick. Talk real quick about He-Man: Masters of the Universe, the Netflix season 2 CGI series. I thought it was good overall. I thought the dancing Skeletor and He-Man with the robots was a little on the corny side, and also the episode that where like Man at Arms threw baked Skeletor a birthday cake, and they kind of spent most of the episode trying to celebrate his birthday. I thought that was a little bit corny, but otherwise, I thought it was pretty good overall. Pretty good story, and with the snake people rising from the dead at the end, it definitely. I'm interested in seeing the next season. I thought she did a pretty good job. Yeah, as soon as she walked in and I saw the whip on her side as the waitress, I knew that's who it was. It was kind of weird that they made her the daughter of the gangster, but overall I thought she did a pretty good job. And Penguin, I don't know if I really need to see an entire Penguin series, but I thought he did a pretty good job as well. I mean, as the mobster version, um, not the over the top, penguin type character, but as like as like a mobster boss type character, like he often gets portrayed in the comics. I thought he did a pretty good job. Well, he was a robot, yeah. That was kind of interesting. There's a figure coming. We haven't seen it yet, but it'll be interesting to see how the figure looks. And they kind of made Stratos a dick, so I didn't really like. I kind of didn't like Stratos that much, but not that I've heard. Yeah, I'm really leaning towards. I'm thinking it's not going to get another season. And the thing is I don't know if they'll ever come out and tell us that it's not getting another season, or if it'll just it'll be knowing Mattel, they'll just never acknowledge whether it's getting another season or not. We'll only hear anything if it actually gets another season. Kevin Smith maybe eventually will say something, but I don't know. I Yeah, but I think it was even more corny than anything we ever saw in the 80s. I mean, again, it didn't bother me that much because I know the show is geared for kids. Um, but I thought that was just a little bit pushing it on the corny side. Like I liked it when it was like, they were trying to fight, and then it was like, okay, you can't, you can't get angry, you can't be violent because that will set the robots off. I like that part of it, but then when they started waltzing around and stuff, then I thought that got to be a little too much. I won't say it's impossible. I mean, I think they were definitely waiting until this season, this new season of the CGI series aired. But the longer we go, the more less likely I'm thinking it's going to get another season. But I won't say, I definitely won't say at this point it's impossible. Well, they definitely left it open for another season, and Kevin Smith has even come out and said that he has a story in mind for another season. Now, I don't know if he actually started working on it in any way, but he has indicated that he's up for another season. I think it's up to whether Netflix is willing to greenlight it or not is the holdup, and so that's the big unknown. But Kevin Smith is definitely he wrote it. He left an opening for a third season, and he's indicated that he has, he definitely has a story for a third season. But yeah, I thought in Webstore, I thought he was pretty cool. I liked him. I'm not sure I liked how easily they joined up with Stratos, but I definitely like their looks. They worked together in the Nolan series, but not nearly as close as they were working together in this movie. I mean, in this movie, they were almost like partners. All right, well, it's after 8, so I need to go watch the new Star Trek Picard episode 2, which I like season, so just because I talked about this last week. So season 2 episode 1 of Picard, I give a thumbs up. Now it's too early to say how the entire season will be because it could go downhill, but I definitely was intrigued by the first episode of Picard. So if you're a Star Trek fan and you have Paramount Plus, um, even if you didn't like season 1, you might want to check out season 2. Um, but I want to go watch the second episode, and then also the new episode of Discovery. So I think we are going to wrap it up here. But I should be back tomorrow with another news video. I'll talk more about the McFarlane stuff. Um, who knows what else we'll talk about? But definitely look for another news video tomorrow. And as always, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Though I think pretty much all you guys subscribe. Sorry, I forgot that I was still on the screen. But yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Though, as I said, I'm sure most of you guys have done that already here. Stay safe out there, guys. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great!